Hi everyone and welcome. So glad you could join me. Welcome to Monday Night Stamping. It is my favorite night of the week, I think. I love to create with you. So my name is Lillian from Stamper's Niche. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Alberta, Canada. And where I like to help you unlock some of your paper crafting skills and ideas and fun. So it is a warm day today here. We had a wicked thunder and lightning storm last night and rain. Had to get up and race around and close windows. So here's a question for you. What do you like to do, or how do you handle it when it's really warm and humid? And what do you do? Do you stay outside? Do you stay inside? Do you go to a movie? What are some ways you handle hot weather? And I know some of you are watching from where it's way hotter than here, but you can just share that. And Roz, happy Monday to you too. So what do you like to do when the weather's just a tad hot? All right, maybe you could share that. And, ooh, how come that? There, now it's focusing. Excellent. And just get this set up here and get that out of the way. Every time I have it set up before I go live, and then it seems to do something different. I don't know. So I'm looking for what you like to do when the weather is warm. If you could tell us that would be great. I'm taking a minute right now to share this video with our people on my Facebook group. So I have a group and a page. I'm just doing that. So if you'd like to share this video, that would be super. You go where there's air conditioning, Lynn. That is a good idea. I've been known to go to the mall or wherever to cool off a little bit. Also, as many of you know, if you come to my classes, our basement is always cool. So when we need to, we go down there. So anywhere where there's air conditioning, movie theater, yep, all of that. So a big thank you for those of you who are sharing this, and a big thank you to everyone who's saying hello and greeting each other, and everybody who's watching. That's super. Just before we start tonight's project, I just want to remind you that bonus days is happening in July only. So we've only got just about a week left, and for every $60 you spend, you will earn a $6 bonus coupon to use and redeem in August. So it's a way to stretch your crafting dollars. So I think that if you've got a long list, maybe this is the time to take advantage of that. So I just wanted to remind you that will soon be ending. So I see air conditioning is a real top thing right now. Excellent. I have another question for you. Because we've had rain, the mosquitoes are out. We haven't had many this year, but the mosquitoes are out in full force. Do any of you have any tips for making the mosquitoes stay away from you? We were at a function on Saturday night, and the people were sharing ideas, and one was saying coconut oil, and one's had different ideas. So do you have an idea about that? And just while you're jotting that down, it's hot in Illinois. Oh, I bet it is. Yes. Well, Cindy, I hope you're staying cool. We are going to play with this new, it's called One Horse Open Sleigh Designer Paper. This paper is stunning, and I'm going to show you where to find it. It's not in the catalog. It's an online exclusive. But on one side, like this, there's a scene. And then on the other side, we've got a more generic look. And this DSP stands for Designer Series Paper, is fabulous. Now it is come out in conjunction or along with some Christmas things, but I'm going to show you tonight that it does not have to be used strictly for Christmas. I'm going to give you some ideas for that. A lot of them are snowy on one side, so it makes you think of winter a little bit, which is maybe not a bad idea on a hot day. Maybe helps you to think cool things and cool off a little bit. But I'm seeing lots of you loving this DSP. Yes, it is, I think, spectacular is the word. So you can see like that. You're excited, Bonnie? Well, I'm glad you're excited. Now, I don't know if you noticed all the different colors here. Stampin' Up! Likes to share with us what colors coordinate. And I pulled, you know how I have my little swatches? I pulled all the swatches of the coordinating colors and look at them all. It almost seems like anything goes with this paper. So these are the ones they're recommending. Of course, some work better with some sheets than the other, but you would have papers in your stash to go with these designer papers for sure. So just like last week, I want to share with you where do you find these. And if you go to, oh, where's my little thingy-majiggy? If you go to bit.ly/Lillian's Online Exclusives, you'll be on my web page on the online exclusive section. And this is at the top. So you can see right here, they are showing ideas. The papers used here are all these papers here. Now, if you go down and just keep going, so whatever device you're on, it might be arranged a little differently. But right here is this paper. So it is $17. It's 48 sheets. I don't know if I can get it to come up. And so it's for each of each design. 12 designs. So I better say that again. 12 designs. So back and front. So you would get 4 of each of the sheets. And if you click on it, they start to show you. So here's the front and back, or 2 sides of one. Here, and there it is in the reverse. And then as you click through, it's really worthwhile clicking on the pictures, because you can see a whole lot more ideas and you can see very clearly what is there. So I would suggest that you look at that and you can see the paper clearly there. Tonight, we're going to tuck all of this away. And this is actually a pretty simple card. We're going to bring in basic white, which is just our regular card size. So it's a half of sheet of thick basic white. It's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And so we've got that. Then we're bringing in a piece of basic white that is 3 3/4 by 5. And we're going to bring in this paper here. Now this, what I'm showing you tonight, would work with any of these papers. So I'll show you a different one at the end. So what we want to do is, in this paper here, when it's folded, we want to cut an opening. Now you can punch it, you can cut whatever shape you want, square, circle, whatever. I already have cut it for you. Let me just bring it in here. And from the stylish shapes, I used the very largest circle. So I used this one here. Now you could use the squares, you could use a punch, you could use different shapes. I think it would look really neat with all different shapes. But that's what I did tonight. I'm going to show you later on, I used this for a card as well. So that looks pretty neat too. I'll show you that in a bit. So we've cut that opening. We're going to save this for another project and tuck this out of the way. And just fold it in half. Should have likely folded before I cut. It's always a little bit trickier doing that. Now, what's going to happen in a little bit is this is going to look through the opening there. But how do we make that happen? Well, when in doubt, I always play around with scrap paper. So I am going to cut my designer paper so that it is 6 inches across. I didn't write that in. Let me just see. So it is 5.5 by 6. All right, and we want the 6 inches to be this way here. All right, so let's cut, not 5.5, 5.25. Sorry, 5.25. I'll have the correct measurements in Thursday's newsletter. So let's bring this in and cut it at 5.25. So I think I'll cut this part off and save that because I like this. So I'm going to put it here. It's always a decision, of course, where to cut that designer paper. So this I've cut off, and it's got lovely wood grain here. I'm going to save that for another project. And I'm going to show you some things I've made with scrap paper from this as well at the end. And then I'm going to score this at 1 7/8. So 7/8 is between 1 3/4 and 2. It is that little, let me just see if I can bring it up closer here. It is that little bit of a longer line in between the 1 3/4 and 2. It's halfway. So you say, well, why 1 7/8? Well, it just makes it a little bit nicer. You get an equal border. You're going to see what I mean by that in a moment here. So now that we've got it scored, we're going to fold, lining up our edges to make sure it's straight like this. And the joy of this particular style of card is that you get to see both sides of your designer paper. So this is what I'm just going to show you sort of how it goes. This is going to get fastened in here and then look through the opening like that. Now I'm going to stamp a message here, but while I'm doing that, should I run the front through an embossing folder or leave it as is? So you let me know, embossing folder or as is. And while you're telling me that, I'm just going to put some adhesive on. Oh, no, I am not going to do that because if I want to emboss, I don't want that. I'm supposed to be stamping, aren't I? So embossing folder or as is. Let me know. All right. Oh, I see embossing folder. Emboss, please. Okay, embossing folder it is. Now, when I am using an embossing folder after I have stamped, I like to use one that is likely more of a subtle type of design. So I'll show you what I'm using in a minute here. So I'm going to put Thinking of You just down here. And this set of words, or these words, pardon me, come from Layering Leaves. I just love this. I love the leaves too. You know me, I love my leaves. But I love the selection and the fonts of the words in here. And we could add the splotches if we wanted, but I think we'll skip that this time since we're embossing. So now we'll take this, put it away, and bring in my Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. There we go. So I got out ahead of time the Basics 3D, the one that's sort of hatch marks. So this comes in a bundle of 3 embossing folders, and again you will find that on the online exclusives. So I'm going to tuck this in and I'm going to line the edge the best I can up with the folds. If I go a little beyond, it's no biggie. You can always do this to your envelope flap and make everything really nicely coordinated. Now normally you put your fold in first, but because we've got this card here, we're going to put it down, but make sure, let me see, make sure that your fold is not hanging over the edge here, or you're going to slice the embossing folder open, and you don't want to do that. So just use a little bit of caution here and be careful. It's totally doable, but just make sure to tuck those corners in. Make sure everything's tucked in nice and snugly. And so now we're going to run that through. There we go. Get that machine out of the way and get this out of the way. And now we have got it looking like that. Oh, I like that a lot. It really adds to it, doesn't it? So there, we're going to move that over here. And you're going to be amazed at how quickly this card comes together. Now we can fasten this in. I always hate to cover that up, but you know what? There are 4 sheets of every design, and I can use another sheet for another design. Now what I'm going to do here, and I use liquid glue, not just because I like it, but because it's going to give, I'm going to line that fold up with the fold, so I should have a pretty even edge all the way around. And before it solidifies there, I'm going to fold this so that if it has to slide over a smidge, it will. Now look at that. We've got this on the outside, and when you open it up, you've got this. You could always stamp a little bit here if you wanted, but it just is so pretty like that. And then when you open it up, you've got the wood grain here. So while we've got this here, this is where you can either leave it as is and just do something here, do some stamping, or this is where your 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece can go. And then this panel here kind of frames it, if you get what I mean. So I'm going to fasten that in right there. Living dangerously, not stamping on it ahead of time, so hopefully that all works out well. What I really like about this is it uses almost a whole sheet of 6x6 paper, and you see both sides. And it's really easy. Then I thought, well, I kind of want to decorate this. So I looked through what I had, my dies, when I was designing this, and I thought, ooh, that would look really nice there, but it kind of maybe doesn't fit the snowy kind of scene. So we'll put that to the side. So then I looked at the punch that goes with this. So the bow punch, which, oh, I will just grab. I put it away. So it's this punch right here. I used it last week as well. So it's the bow punch. And I punched out some Misty Moonlight. And I punched out some vellum. And I started to play around and just put a little bit there. I didn't want to totally hide the trees. Now, I could have stamped my words right here too. That would have looked really nice there as well. So that's always an option. Don't forget you can stamp on your paper. And let's see. And that's the shimmery boho blue. Maybe, maybe not. I'll have to see. And then we've got some of the twine. Now remember, this twine I showed you is the thick twine, but you can separate it so easily. And that's what I did here to have one just a little more gentle. I think I might take that luster paper out, and I might go sort of like that. So that's what we'll do. Make a decision here. And now I have to be careful putting adhesive on here because I don't want to put adhesive on the part that's hanging over the circle. So I'm going to be very strategic in my adhesive application. Just like that. And trying to keep it so it's not hanging over the edge of the card because I want it to fit into an envelope too. Whoops! And it's stuck to my sticky fingers. There we go. Just like that. And I'm only going to put a little dab on the vellum because adhesive shows, but I'm going to put, ooh, got lots there. I am going to put, where's my silicone mat? I'm going to take some of that off. And then my bow will cover that up. So it's just one way. You could do all kinds of things. I just playing around here a little bit. I had it all nicely arranged, and of course then once you take it apart, it's not going back very well, right? So I have my little bow. I'm going to put just a dab of glue there and stick that down. I could have used a glue dot. And there we go. We've got it just like that. And we can add some embellishments. We could add, the in-color dots. We could add anything that we want. We'll go with the in-color dots here. Have to open up a new package. Exciting. Isn't it always exciting to hear that crackle? There we go. And I think we just need one this time. We'll go like that. And just like that, we have the card done. And it looks so elegant, and it's not necessarily Christmas. Now, if you had put a Christmas greeting here, and you could easily have made this Christmassy. So here's what I did with another piece of the paper from the One Horse Open Sleigh designer paper. So with the house one, I made it a Christmas one, and I used this die here and added the snowflakes just like that. And so there, and now again, you could have stamped down here, stamped an extra message if you wanted, and then that's how I finished the inside off. So you can, I just love that you see both sides of the designer paper, so you can see all kinds of potential there. So the snowflakes, remember, they come in a package, and there are 3 sizes, and there are 3 different colors. Let me just see here. Does that show up better? So there's copper, gold, and white. And you can always color the white with your blends and make it a different color if you wanted. There's that. But I love these. They're nice and flat. There's already have the adhesive on them. So you just pick them off and add them to your project, and you're good to go. So I'm seeing lots of love for this style of card. So you can see the potential here. It could go lots of different ways. And it is just opening your eyes to the fact that it doesn't just have to be Christmas, although it makes excellent Christmas ones. Now, last week I showed you using scrap paper like this. So I had lots of scraps after I was playing with the One Horse Open Sleigh paper. I keep them all together. So then I took this idea, turned it sideways, and made the strips a little wider. And so again, here's our leaves. Very simple card, but it just works perfectly. Did I do the inside? Oh yeah, I did. I used, sometimes I can't remember what I've done. Have you ever been like that? So there is one using scraps. I had some scraps from a scene, and I just cut them into squares and did that. And instead of putting Christmas on it, it was You Make Me Smile. And so it was just very, very simple. So the cards I'm showing you, most of them I made non-Christmas, just to open up your thinking a little bit. But you can see, and I'm getting ready for a class on this, because so I was trying to use one of each of the designer's sheets from there. So there's this fun fold here. So whoops, got my instructions inside. So it's like that, and then it folds up like that. Here's another fun fold. So this God's Blessings to You is from one of the Christmas stamp sets that I have. But you can see how this just showcases the paper. And again, I just used a little bit here. And the snowflake is here, so it's peeking through. Then this is just a basic card. Really, this paper you could just cut, stick on a card base, and you've got a card. So there's another one, and here's another one, and here's another one using scraps. I got this idea from a fellow demonstrator, Sherry Roth. And here's another one. I love this fox. And then there's this one here, like that. the little deer. So I just highlighted the deer. And of course, this one I got from Sharon Armstrong, this idea. So you can see that I've been having some fun. There's so much potential with this paper. So I hope that has made you think a little bit about other ways of using the paper, so that some people say, well, I don't want to do Christmas cards right now. Other people say, I do want to do Christmas cards right now. So now you have the option of doing either. I've been busy. Yeah, Sue, I have, but they all just fell together. It didn't take very long because the paper is so gorgeous. It does all the work. So are you falling into the I'm ready to do Christmas cards camp? Or are you falling into the camp where, oh, I think I'll use it for something else right now? As always, if you are interested in purchasing any of these supplies, please contact me or go to my website, lillian.stampinup.net. And the hostess code right now is this one right here. And again, questions, just contact me, and be on the lookout for my class. We've been having so much company, I haven't been able to. I've got the projects ready. I just have to finalize the last few things, and then I will be doing that. So hopefully within the next few days. So thanks so much for joining me. Have fun with this design. No matter what designer paper you have, you can always have it peeking through. So be sure to share what you make. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.